Harry, this is Lord Potato. And this is, well, a new what if that I thought of for Asta. Now, this what if is actually going to be a little bit more different than the others. It's actually a portrayed what if. So, yeah. I haven't really done one for Asta. I have done multiple for. Wait, have I done any for Naruto? I think I only did neglected ones. And not betrayed ones. Wait. I'm trying to think. Have I? Oh yeah. What if Naruto did give into well, not give into hatred. It was. What if Naruto was the reincarnation of, well, no, had the power of the Salt King? I think in that one he was betrayed. But whatever. I should shut up because I don't have much time in this what if, and I'm going to upload it after I'm done with this. But not the point. Okay, the name of this what if is called What If Asta never became, well, not that, let me say that again. What if Asta decides to not become the Wizard King? Or couldn't become the Wizard King? Or, okay, I'll figure it out later. But yeah, but not the point. This is, well, a what if. So, yeah. So we go into, well, we go into Asta, into when he was kind of getting his five-life grimoire, meeting Yuno, of course, well, not meeting Yuno, they were already meeting each other, they were just fist bumping each other, saying they would become the pirate, well, not pirate, the Wizard King, and of course, this is where, well, they go on to, well, 3 months later, they go to the, well, wizard, like, not wizard, the mostly capital of the kingdom and all that, the Clover Kingdom. This is where, well, they go into the exam. Of course, Asta's struggling with everything. Asta even defeats Haha Guy and original canon, of course. But instead of being chosen by any of the magic, well, what's it called, magic knights, captains, not even Yami decides to choose him. In this one, Asta did not get chosen by anyone. And so where, well, Asta, he realized that he would not become the Wizard King. Yuno was kind of saddened, but he then promised himself that he will become the Wizard King, even if Asta has to, like, take it next year to become a Magic Knight. He will have more improvement, but Asta will just have to come back, becoming stronger and all that. Asta, who just walks away, people laugh at him for having no mana, and Asta is just leaving. People do come back, or kind of kick him and push him away. Asta's not doing anything, not fighting back. Asta realized that he won't become the Wizard King, but Asta is just walking out of the capital. Yuno didn't get well, anything to say to Asta because he thought that Asta's strong enough. He see him next year and all that. But we go into, well, this is just a memory. We go into the actual Asta right now, standing to be about 6'2", right now having, well, a black coat around him. Is it where, well, behind him he has a symbol of some kind of, well, some kind of pirate symbol a little bit. It has kind of horns, and yeah. This is where, well, also has black pants, well, kind of black leathery pants a little bit. Of course, this is where he got black shoes, 2 swords strapped onto him. But of course, this is where, well, not 2 swords, mostly he has still the 5-leaf grimoire to the next to him, to the side of him. But he has a club behind him, like a club that's kind of having like a little bit thorns on it. Of course, he is walking, and this is where, well, he is walking to the cliff of this cloud. This is where Asta says, why did I remember that memory? So stupid of me to even believe that a magicless kid like me can never become the Wizard King. No, instead of becoming the Wizard King, I will become the strongest, well, general to ever lead my lord into becoming the Pirate King. That's where Asta decides to jump off the cliff. And this is where, well, it's not even a cliff, it's a cloud. This is where Asta goes straight down from that cloud all the way to the land, falling straight from that cloud all the way down. This is where, well, the clouds are kind of just like moving away because he was really far up. This is where, well, also sees when he opens his eyes a kingdom that he hasn't seen for about, well, a couple of months. Well, not even months, about half a year, but not the point. This is where, well, Asta is kind of going down. He's like a shooting star right now, crashing, like a meteor crashing down. This is where he crashes down in the middle of between a battle between, well, Magic Knight captains and some of their underlings, even Yuno being there, and someone else who was kind of there who was, well, with Yuno. This is where a girl with bluish hair and has, well, kind of bluish eyes a little bit. Of course, she had the grimoire that had the 4-leaf and all that. This is where the other people that they were fighting were mostly the Eye of the Midnight, who are kind of trying to escape mostly. It was Razor, Sally, and, well, yeah, the teleportation guy, but yeah. This is where, well, Asta smashes into the middle of it, right now making a crater. This is where, well, people were confused. This is where Yuno says, "What the hell was that?" Razor says, "Huh? The hell was that?" Sally says, "I don't know. A shooting star? Or is it a meteor?" This is where Razor says, "I don't care what it is. What? This is where something like an arm appears right now, smashing the ground. Seems to be climbing out. All they see is a man with kind of long silver hair, kind of like silverish grayish hair, greenish eyes, that seems to be dead. But of course, this is where, well, he also has, well, to be having like these black horns on his head that's coming out of like the ground. And of course, this is where, well, he has a symbol behind his jacket, like his black jacket. Of course, this is where muscles are actually showing because he doesn't actually wear like a shirt and all that. Well, kind of. But of course, this is where, well, it's kind of like a white shirt, but it's like still showing his bare muscles. And so where the symbol shows to have like, oh well, 3 like bones, and this like the feature to kind of having these horns on it, and it says Beast Pirates. Well, kind of, because this is called Beast Pirates kind of symbol. This is where, well, this person smashes out of, gets out of the crater, and of course pulls out his club and launches it straight towards the multiple Magic Knights. The only Magic Knight that actually managed to get hit was the guy that actually can use sand. This is where he didn't see the power, but when he tries to use sand, like a sand shield, the sand shield gets destroyed in an instant, and the club just smash upon him, smashing him into multiple buildings. Right now, knock the fuck out. This is where all of them are so shocked. This person gets out of the crater. This is where, well, he roars with this anger. Well, not anger, mostly the spiteful roar. This is where, well, they are confused. This is where, well, Razor and the others are confused, and this is where the, well, what's called the Eye of the Midnight, mostly the other underlings are confused, but this is where Asta doesn't care about none of them, because yes, this is Asta. Asta looks completely different. And so where, well, Asta looks at some of the underlings from the Eye of the Midnight. He grabs one of them, and of course this is where Asta just throws him straight at another Magic Knight. This Magic Knight was the one that can use what's called, well, glass release. And of course, he gets hit by the underling and smashes upon into multiple buildings. This power, this raw strength, they are confused. Asta seems to be 6 feet, but he's a little bit actually taller. He's actually 6'5". This is where Asta roars in pride. This is where Asta rushes at the Magic Knights with no mercy and intent. Right now using this club to smash upon, well, another Magic Knight. This time it is Noelle, the guy who can actually use kind of like what's it called Mercury release. This is where he tries to make a shield, but of course the shield gets obliterated and his head gets smashed down. This is where he is knocked the fuck out. This is where the other Magic Knights are confused, and this is where Asta says, "I will destroy this kingdom." This is where, you know, when he's kind of like sending a wind arrow at, well, this person, this is where Asta smashes the wind arrow out of the way. This is where Asta and Yuno's eyes connect. This is where, well, Yuno says, he looks familiar. This is where the blue-haired girl, who's actually managing to kind of use water to kind of levitate herself by the moisture a little bit in the air mostly. She's saying, hey, Yuno, what is happening? She's mostly from the blue roses. And of course, this is where, well, Yuno says, I feel like I know that person. This is where this person named Umi says, are you sure? This is where Yuno says, yeah, Umi. Do you remember Asta? Umi says, Asta? Well, kinda. I do remember him kind of failing the Magic Night exam, but I don't remember much. He never did make it home. This is where they're both thinking. But of course, this is where, well, what's it called? I don't think the golden, no, what's it called? Klaus was there, and of course Klaus says, what are you two doing? Stop, what's it called, spacing out and fight. This is where he says, metal spikes. He sends what's it called, these metal spikes that were on these other metal poles and tried to launch at Asta. Asta gets hit by them, but Asta seems to be unaffected by this. Asta grabs him, breaks him, and Asta just sends his club straight to Klaus's head. Klaus could not dodge this. This is where Mimosa tries to kind of like heal some of the captains, but of course this is where Klaus launches by her. This is where she won her eyes. She almost got hit, but luckily what's called, well, Noelle was there, and Noelle actually became stronger, not because of Asta, who was not there, but thanks to her other friends from the Black Bulls. They managed to get her out of her kind of weird emotions, but yeah. This is where she managed to make a water barrier, so well, Mimosa can actually work on healing the others. This is where, well, Noelle was shocked to see her brother, her oldest brother, just get one-shotted. This is where, well, Yuno says, hey you, big ugly white-haired bastard. Tell me, what is your name? This is where Asta turns around, but before turning around, he smashes his club into one of the other, well, what's it called, other Magic Knights, and I don't remember how many there were. Wait. Oh yeah, there was what's called Noelle's other two siblings. So of course that club smashes upon one of those two siblings, but mostly killing Solid. And so well, Asta kills Solid without even a second care in the world. This is where Asta turns around and sees Yuno and says, with this creepy smile that Asta managed to make in his face, says, oh hello there, Yuno. This is where Yuno widens his eyes. And this is where he now knows who this is, Asta. Asta rushes at him with blinding speed, having the club right now straight towards his face. This is where, well, Yuno could not escape this. This is where the club was so close to his face. It would have crushed in an instant if it wasn't for Umi managing to make a water barrier and managed to use water tentacles to kind of grab Yuno out of the way. This is where Asta smashes through what just destroys the water, well, kind of shield. This is where Asta says, Umi, Yuno, you two are little brats and get in my way. This is where, well, Asta sees another Magic Knight trying to get in his way, and it's mostly, what's it called, what was his name? Well, it wasn't him, it was mostly her. Her name was from, what's it called, Soy, and she was from the Blue Rose. And she tries to say, Earth Golem! This is where the Earth Golem was about to hit Asta, but Asta just uses his arm and just smashes through it. This is where it manages to grab Soy from the neck. And this is where Asta says, you're a precious little thing, but too bad I'm not interested in you. So die! This is where, well, Asta was about to kill her until Blue Rose kind of like vines appear, grabbing his arm, and Asta sees that Char is trying to stop him from actually killing Soy, and instead of Asta kind of killing her, he knows that the freaking vines are so weak. Asta just pulls on them, and this is where he throws Soy straight towards where Char. This is where Char couldn't react fast enough, and of course gets herself smashed by Soy, and of course it smashed into the wall. Asta laughs and says, "This all the Magic Knights are? So pathetic." Yuno says, "I won't let you defeat them." So, well, Asta says, "Oh, too bad." This is where Razor attacks Asta, because, first of all, Razor doesn't know what the hell is happening, so of course he attacks Asta with waves, and of course Asta says, "You weakling! Also smashes his left hand, not with the club, his left hand into the multiple, what's it called, zombie likes. So right now, just breaking through them, like with just his fist, mostly his like left side of his hand, because he says, "You weakling, get out of my way!" Right now, just smashing through all the zombie likes and hitting Razor in the face, smashing upon him into the wall. Razor goes, damn it. Sorry, Sally. This guy's strong. I wonder how strong that he can be. Salamander. Or, not salamander. What was that thing? Let me remember what it is. She says, Axolotl. This is where the Axolotl rushes at Asta. Asta says, "You annoying pest." Asta makes his club, like, turn into a black. And he just rips through the Axolotl easily. This is where Sally gets hit by it and, of course, smashes upon the wall. This is where Asta, who isn't caring that much, is fighting against the Eye of the Midnight and even, the magic captains. Asta saying, "All of you are pathetic." Asta sees Yuno. Oh shit. Also, if you heard that in the background, it was me accidentally hitting my my earbuds and accidentally make them fall down. But yeah, not the point. So of course, this is where Asta says, "You pathetic weaklings, die." This is where all of them couldn't really dodge this, but not all of them. Mostly all of them that was still on the ground and still trying to fight against Asta couldn't really dodge this. But Asta, when he hits the ground, for some reason it shakes, and of course this is where the ground started erupting and started pushing all the magic knights away and smashing them into mostly the wall, knocking them all out. This is where Asta sees in front of him Noelle and even Mimosa. Asta says, "Die." Also sent his club down straight towards him, and this is where, Yuno says, "No!" This is where he summoned out the wind spear, and of course sends a very powerful wind attack at, Asta. Asta gets hit by it, but of course gets smashed to the wall, and Asta gets up. Seeing that attack was so weak to him, Yuno widened his eyes. He didn't expect Asta to just get up from that, like, there was nothing to him. Asta started shaking off some of the rubble off of him, but mostly pushing it away, kind of trying to clean himself up. Also says, "Pathetic." Also rushes at Yuno with blinding speed. But this is where, Umi says, "No." This is where Umi also unlocks something like a water spirit. Right now, sending a very powerful water attack at Asta. Asta smashes into another wall and says, "You people are starting to try to annoy me and get in my patience." That's where Asta rushes at both of them with a blinding speed to actually take them both out. That's where, before they even get close, that's where, when Asta's getting close towards Umi and, Yuno's location, Yuno and Umi actually did this together by kind of being in the same link together, to kind of combining their kind of, wind magic and water magic together and smashing it upon Asta's face. This is where Asta smashes through, multiple buildings and of course seems to be knocked out. I say seems to be, quotation marks. This is where, Razor and the others managed to escape thanks to the porter guy, but this is where, Asta is right now in multiple magic binding stuff. This is where, multiple people do not trust him. He is right now in prison. Not really. He's right now in front of multiple magic knight captains. So yeah, we go into a time skip about, 3 days. This is where some of the magic captains are really knocked the fuck out. Like Nauseo, Nauseo, the Blue Rose captain or whatever. And of course, so many people are just shocked. This is where some of the nobles are there. And of course, Asta is right now in Triad. This is where that one guy who can actually erase people magic with the power of whatever bullshit that he had. Yeah, he's there. This is where, Julius managed to capture some people when, he managed to fight against the, Eye of the Midnight and even the captain a little bit. Mostly, not the captain, mostly the leader, but yeah. He is there, widen his eyes confused who this person was. He's not part of the Eye of the Midnight, they realize. This person is completely different in why he's here. This is where, well, Asta, who seems to be dead his eyes, seeing all of these weaklings, pathetic, idiotic morons, try to stop him. This is where, well, Asta is kind of given the defense to see why he attacked them all. Even though the nobles are going to just say that screw it, they're going to change some of the rules and all that because yeah, they can. The king is also there. That's where Asta sees the king and narrows his eyes. That's where Asta says, so that's the king. Killing him would be much easier. I wonder how the others are doing. Whatever. That's where, well, they ask what is Asta's defense and why he attacked the, well, what's called magic knights and some people. So where, well, Asta, who remains quiet, is where they're confused and why Asta's not speaking. Asta, who says, my defense is, screw you, screw all of you. I'm going to take over the 4 kingdoms in an instant for my lord, well, to come here and destroy you all. Actually, my lord is going to destroy all of you. One of the 4 of the Sea Emperors will come here and destroy the 4 kingdoms. So, he will rule all of the Kaida! One of the strongest men alive will rule over all of you pathetic weaklings. This is where Julius narrows his eyes. Kaido, considered as one of the 4 Sea Emperors. This is where Asta breaks out of the bindings, rushes towards the king. Everyone widening their eyes. Julius tries to actually use what's it called his time ability. This is where Asta pulls out a sword. But this is the anti-sword. This is where Asta cuts through it. And Asta appears, grabbing the king from the neck and saying, die! Crushes his neck in an instant. Right now ripping him apart multiple times, making sure that he's not noticed. This is where Asta transforms his body into a beast. This is where Asta flies up. He like jumps up from the air, and right now wings spread from his like back, and right now starts flying up and leaving. This is where, well, everyone widened their eyes. What just happened? This is where, well, Asta is right now, well, his wings aren't normal. You see here, he ate a devil fruit that allows him to kind of transform into a mystic dragon. Yes, this is similar towards, well, Kaido, where he can transform into that, well, somewhat dragon. But Asta has an actual dragon, like a dragon. Like where he can actually have wings and all that. But yeah, Asta starts flying, and of course he's only in his hybrid form. He's not in his full transformation. That's where Asta is like flying away in high speeds that no one ever can actually catch up to him. Not even Julius will be able to catch up to, well, Asta. Asta leaves in just high speeds. It's where Yuno and Umi widen their eyes. Asta did not. When I meant that Asta got knocked out, quotation mark, I meant he really didn't get knocked out. That combined attack was just a way for him to kind of be on a trial, because he knows that the king will actually be in that triumph to kind of, well, like trick the rules and kind of change the rules and kind of making him, well, be executed, Asta. But Asta knew that the king would be there, and this is where Asta narrowed his eyes because he still has so much energy inside him. That's why he breaks out of the bindings by using armament hawking to kind of destroy him in an instant and rushes for the king to kill him. Asta wanted to hurt the Magic Knight extremely bad to make sure dirt won't get in his way. He knows that the Wizard King would get in his way, but of course Asta knows about his, well, grimoire, and allows him to actually cut and nullify any magic. That means also nullifying any, effects from his devil fruit or from the other devil fruits that he has. Asta has 3 devil fruits in total, but of course this is where Asta has shown about 2 of them in battle. One, his dragon fruit, and the second one is actually a devil fruit that he managed to actually get from someone that was named Blackbeard. Yes, he managed to kill him and actually take one of the devil fruits that was called Quake no Mi. But yeah, also that's why he was able to kind of crash the ground and kind of use the devil fruit, the Quake bubble in his, well, club. That's where, of course, none of the magic knights did take Asta's weapons because it was too damn heavy for them. So, of course, they left it on him because they thought he won't be able to escape from the magic bindings. But Asta broke through them thanks to his armament hawking, so yeah. So, of course, Asta was able to fly away and be free. This is where, well, everyone in the whole kingdom widened their eyes when the king is dead. Julius didn't actually understand why Kaido from the Beast Pirates, the captain up there, would decide to now attack the four kingdoms of, well, we call the four kingdoms. The spade, the clover, the heart, and even, well, the diamond. He is confused why he started now to attack everyone. So where, well, Asta, he managed to land at near the water, and of course, where, well, three other people appeared. This is where someone with somewhat lightning, what's called devil fruits appeared, saying, "Oh, I managed to get rid of the Diamond Kingdom, well, king, or some of the rulers. I managed to get a good portion of them out of there." What's it called? Asta-sama. Mostly Captain Asta-sama. This is where, well, not Captain, mostly General. This is where another person appears, right now, kind of transforming his body out of, well, his own, well, Zoan Delfruit. And his Zoan Delfruit is, well, somewhat of a mystic. He had wings in somewhat this form. It looked like to be kind of bird wings. But really, his mystic type is called Griffin. So model Griffin. So yeah. So of course, this is where, well, he gets out and says, "Hello there, Asta, General. I'm done with the Heart Kingdom. I managed to get rid of some people, but I couldn't really kill the queen. She was a little tricky bitch and was annoying." It's where the last person appears, right now transforming his body, well, out of pure light and darkness, saying, "Hello there, Asta, General. Well, I think I killed some of the Spade Kingdoms, or whatever captains or pirates, I don't care that much, but I think I managed to kill them. If I can't, then shit, Kaido-sama would be pissed at me." This is where I also says, "Nonsense. If you had trouble with the spades, then I will take them out later. I managed to take out the king of, well, the Clover Kingdom. They're probably going to have to take a fucking long time for, well, the new king to appear. It might be the Wizard King who might actually appear, but he's not a problem to me. The king was the most problem because all royals will now go into crazy, well, revolution against commoners. And commoners will go against, well, what's it called? Oh, how should I say? Well, against the nobles. You see here, I planted seeds multiple around before starting an attack. Well, the kingdom. About a couple of months when we came here. Just like all of you have done also, haven't you?" The Griffin says, "The kingdom and the hearts were kind of too difficult for me to even manage to start a revolution. It seems all people are so loyal to their, well, somewhat queen. It's sort of the Diamond Kingdom from, well, a guy who has a lightning down fruit, mostly the Logia lightning down fruit, Rumble one, says, "Oh, this diamond one was so easy to start one. I barely even lighted a match in there, and the thing exploded into a revolution. It was so easy for me just to take it out so easily. It was so fun at the same time. And with my lightning ability to kind of send a pillar from the sky, they all thought they were under attack, but at the same time, the revolution thought they were under attack from the nobles. It was so fun." I swear, well, the last one who has a dark and light devil fruit says, "It was pretty interesting. I couldn't, well, there was already a revolution started in that kingdom. I just had to take out the king to see if that would be able to, well, spike up a new revolution. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't care." This is where Asta says, "Good. The Diamond Kingdom is already destroyed. The Clover Kingdom is about to start into a revolution. Hoping so. This is where the Heart Kingdom might be a problem. The Spade Kingdom is already in a revolution from your knowledge. What's it called? Well, so of course this is where Asta says, 'Good job. Zactone, the guy with lightning devil fruit. Good job, Greed, the guy with Griffin, what's it called, devil fruit domestic. And good job, Meton, the guy with light and darkness devil fruit. With our abilities, we managed to kind of stir up the whole four kingdoms into somewhat of war with each other. After this, there should be easy pickings for Kaido and his army to be able to kind of take out all the kingdoms. We would just have to go back towards Wano to kind of see if Kaido is willing to now take over this four kingdoms. Or maybe he's going to ask us to take it over. This is where Zacto says, ooh, please, for the love of God, I hope he picks me. I really want to stir up more chaos into that Diamond Kingdom. It was so easy. It was like taking candy from a baby. This is where, as you mentioned, Zacto's height is about, 6'3". He's a little bit shorter, but, shorter than, Asta, who's actually 6'5". This is where Greed, he is the height of being kind of 6'7", a little bit taller than Asta, and kind of older, but doesn't mind. He takes order from Asta pretty easily, and he's very, knowledgeable, and also kind of very good in strategy and calm mind and all that. Zacto, on the other hand, is kind of insane, and kind of, how should I say, insane, still smart, but at the same time, he rushes into things a lot too much. This is where, the last one, named Mento, or Melato. He is somewhat of a kind-minded, but at the same time, lazy sometimes. He kind of gets sometimes lazy. He sometimes thinks that it's too much of a drag, but other things. But of course, he is the height of kind of being, 5'11". Of course, this is where, he's a little bit shorter than the others. But of course, with his kind of calm-minded, lazy kind of attitude, he isn't sure to be kind of trifle much, because he is also pretty damn strong with his two devil fruits, darkness and light. Darkness one actually managed to nullify any kind of devil fruit if he ate another devil fruit. The light one he actually managed to get from a person named Kazaru, who was actually an admiral for the Marines. Of course, he ate it, and of course he's under the lead of Asta. Asta, who's actually a calm-minded, prideful person, and actually the strongest out of all three of them. They all follow Asta in his leads against the four kingdoms. Because you see here, they already know about Asta being from here. They somewhat know a little bit about Asta. They don't actually pry into his personal life, because they all have respect. Even the insane one, of course, is where, they don't pry into his life, because, Asta's a cold-blooded murderer who takes any command from Kaido without any questions. If it's murder, kill, destroy, pillage villages, or anything, he will take everything on, because he sees Kaido as somewhat of a god, a man who he shouldn't be trifled with puny little things. Asta will be the one to always do all his missions. Because you see here, Asta sees Kaido as, a god, but mostly a god who actually took his life and actually decided to shake it up and make it stronger. So where, Asta will always tries to pay off the debt that Kaido decided to actually give him a powerful new life. But until that, I'm going to end it off here. Yes, I actually did a little bit too long and I need to go to sleep. But yeah, so have a nice potato day, potato night, potato sleep, potato. I know this is a little bit shorter than my other ones that are actually 1 hour long, but not the point. But yeah, let me actually kind of think of a name, what I'm going to actually name this. But other than that, bye-bye, potato, and good night. But yeah, bye-bye.